Are you kind to yourself? Can you look at yourself and see your flaws, but still be as kind to you as you would be to anyone else? If not, I'm going to teach you in this video how to be your own best friend and advocate. This is incredibly valuable because if we can't give ourselves any slack, we are likely to look away from what is true about us. If we don't offer grace to ourselves, we can't really give it to others. We might be able to look like we're giving grace, but deep down inside, we feel the inequity, and sooner or later, we feel resentment, unrest, or anger. People take many cues from us. If we aren't kind to ourselves and respectful of our own needs, others will follow our lead. We show other people how we need to be treated by the way we treat ourselves and what we expect and will allow from them. Since we have to live with ourselves our whole entire lives and we can't get away from ourselves, why not be our own best supporter and root for the home team? Are you overly critical, grouchy, or impatient? How about forgetful or unfocused? Maybe we just feel we aren't smart enough. We all have something about ourselves that can be improved or at least kindly accepted. None of our weak qualities are great, but they can be dealt with if we can acknowledge them, especially without self-condemnation. We are not the one special person with flaws. If we know this, we can take a good look at ourselves with compassion. There is a huge difference between self-honesty and self-condemnation. Honesty just observes and acknowledges the facts. Self-condemnation judges, usually way too harshly. Sometimes inner dialogue can be absolutely cruel. We sometimes say things to ourselves that no one would say, things that don't help us be better, but instead discourage us into apathy. I've given birth. I've helped moms deliver babies. Either way, it's a breathtaking miracle. You were that baby, an amazing creation of God. When I was in anatomy class as an undergraduate, I asked my teacher how anyone could be an atheist. The complexity of the human body is mind-blowing. The design is truly awesome. Later, I got to go visit Cape Canaveral, and the same question came up there. We listened to an astronaut talk about his awe-inspiring journeys into space. I asked him if there were any atheists in space. He said, and he laughed, only if they kept their eyes shut. My point is that you are magnificent and must be handled with kid gloves. Kid gloves are very soft. You deserve that kind of care. The first person who must acknowledge and respect this is you. As hard as it may be to believe, God already loves you completely, just as you are, and will never love you more. Humility doesn't go up against God. We are not loved for our perfection. This is the kind of love we have for our children, and it's not conditional. We flawed humans are precious to the core. Working to grow better necessarily starts with a reverence for who we are, because we cannot turn up the light within ourselves with brute criticism and force. A good course is to accept our flaws, make plans on how to improve, and fill our thoughts with kindness and encouragement towards ourselves. This is the way we would treat a beloved friend, and we deserve no less. We're just another kid on the planet, no more deserving, no less deserving. We are responsible for encouraging ourselves. The most encouraging literature I have ever read is in the Bible. Christian or not, this book is the most widely circulated book in the world, at least 5 billion copies. It is full of hope for all people and great information about how to solve problems in life. It also tells us how to treat ourselves with love. Our unique presence on this planet has a purpose. The timing of our life is not random. Whatever lot we currently have in life is not nearly so important as our respect for life, our life too. Gratitude for our own life includes respect for the amazing being that we are. How could we possibly be unkind or judgmental of our own essence? Sometimes voices from the past, outside world, or our childhood fill our minds with self-criticism. As little kids, we don't have any choice but to listen. But as adults, we become the gatekeepers of our minds. We decide what we will say to ourselves and what we will dismiss. This is a very powerful concept, but most of us don't grow up being taught that we can control our flow of thoughts. We can decide. We can redirect our minds. We can protect ourselves. This is really our job as adults. It's not anybody else's. It is also our job to model this for young people. Maybe you're like a mom I heard about recently who is very hard on herself. She just can't get it all done. She yells at the kids and then she feels guilty. Then she feels shame and hates how she behaves. I wonder what we would say to her. You're a failure. You're a terrible mom. You should be ashamed of yourself. No, not if this were a friend. We would probably have a clearer picture than she does into the difficulties that she faces and have compassion, and maybe encourage her to get some type of help with the kids. We could acknowledge with her that yelling isn't productive and help her find better ways of dealing with her emotions. We can take a third-person look at ourselves to become more objective. What would somebody else see in our situation? What would a helpful person say to us? That is the kind of thought we need to embrace. That mom feeling shame needs to kick shame out the door and far away. When we feel shame, we feel that we are bad. When we feel guilt, it means that we have done something bad. There is a huge difference between shame and guilt. Guilt is something we can deal with pretty easily. The mother could say to herself, "Hey, you are a human, you are okay. I'm making a plan to do it better next time. I'm going to apologize to my kids and be kinder to myself if I don't get everything done." That is acknowledging guilt, and it is productive. Shame, on the other hand, is damaging. Do you carry any shame with you? If you carry a message that ever tells you that you are bad, you are carrying a lie. Shut the door on that. We wouldn't let vicious animals in the front door of our houses, so let's not let vicious lies into the door of our minds. We have the power to reject those thoughts and the key to locking the door. If something slips in, kick it out and lock the door again. Call the exterminator. If we actually do what I'm recommending here, we find the great power we have to redirect our minds. It's pretty cool stuff. It's empowered stuff. Our minds like to be thinking, so the next step is to fill up with truths that are nourishing. What is it that we spend our time on? What do we choose to watch or read or hear? If we want to grow, we need fertilizer and water. Here is your official call to action. Notice what you let go through your mind. If you wouldn't say to a friend what you say to yourself, then please decide right now that you will never say it again. This is being accountable to yourself. This is being an adult and taking responsibility for your own well-being. I know for sure that you deserve to be handled with those kid gloves. check out my video on judging less and finding more peace, because others deserve those kid gloves too, and you deserve peace. You are uniquely and awesomely you. Please don't forget it.